That obstacle course and what happened like lived rent free in my head for like weeks. I don't blame Ian. Why didn't I press advance to like go? I don't think TV can ever capture the emotions leading up to that moment. My biggest mistake was maybe being too honest. Every contestant has like an unlimited supply of answers for this. I had a crazy imposter syndrome. I made some bad decisions in critical moments. I'm gonna take the next freaking opportunity to money and get out of here.
Yeah. Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Behind the Beast. We're going to know the contestants on Beast Games Season 2, Strong vs. Smart.
Hey, I'm Mike. I'm number 16 and I'm a software engineer in real life.
So you started leading a team of engineers in big tech at the age of 26. So I feel like oftentimes with taking on bigger challenges for your age, it comes with imposter syndrome. So how did you get the confidence to lead people that may be older than you or sometimes have more experience?
I guess what I'm called is like a tech lead, which like to this day, like I'm not fully sure what it means, but I just like lead projects and like coordinate engineers. This is like kind of specific advice to software engineering, but like maybe you can extrapolate it to like other industries. But it's less about like how fast you can move and like how many tasks you can complete or like how fast you can finish your work. But as you move up the corporate ladder, it becomes more about like how well you can sell your ideas, the ideas themselves, and like selling yourself as like a leader, especially in the age of AI where like a lot of tasks can be automated now, like for an entry level engineer. So I think those are key skills to grow, is like your ability to sell and create visions in your organization and for your like product you work on. And in terms of imposter syndrome, like I still struggle with that. I had crazy imposter syndrome when I was like showed up to Beast Games.
Sure, yeah.
Because like there's people who have like way crazier like stat lines, like they did the XYZ.
Rocket engineers.
Yeah, exactly.
And the human calculators.
Exactly. Yeah. And I felt like just kind of like an average Joe.
Yeah.
I don't know how I deal with imposter syndrome is just like confidence and believing in yourself.
UC Berkeley is known for shaping sharp minds, but also big thinkers. So how did your time there not only affect tech, but also your larger purpose in life?
I would say my biggest takeaway from my time at UC Berkeley was not necessarily the learnings in the classroom, because to be honest, I think like between each university, it's like you're gonna learn like similar things, similar quality things.
Yeah.
I would say my biggest learnings was just like the people there. There was like very impressive, hardworking, ambitious people. And that like opened my eyes because I grew up in a smaller town in Southern California to like immigrant parents, and like they didn't necessarily like know how to show me this is what happens like if you go into finance, or like this is what happens if you go into consulting, or this is what happens if you go into tech. Like I didn't know about those like paths, like the different things you can do in life to be successful. Like it wasn't really shown to me. So just going to UC Berkeley and like seeing and learning all these different possibilities in life from people, that was like definitely a major thing I took with me.
Especially at those like major universities, there are just a vast array of like huge different perspectives that you would never experience in like a smaller university at times.
Yeah, for sure. And just being in like the Bay Area, you get exposed to like large tech companies, and like the billboards in San Francisco are like very niche like tech companies, stuff like that. So like it definitely like drove me in that direction. That was like a like a
Silicon Valley inspiration.
Yeah, sort of. It's definitely like it propels you in that direction. Yeah. Like as opposed to smaller school, maybe like pushes you towards finance or something like that. So that was definitely like an effect that UC Berkeley had on me. But yeah, I like really enjoyed my time at UC Berkeley, and I'm really like grateful for the experience I had there.
So now you speak 4 languages. So can you talk about the 4 languages you speak and how they shape the way that you think, lead, and problem solve?
Dude, you literally asked like similar questions like the producers would ask me in like in our in our one-on-one interviews on the camera.
I mean, it's an impressive part of your personality.
Yeah. I definitely think that was like something they like latched onto. As like, all right, this is like how we're gonna try to like sell them, or like why we casted him for the show. I speak English, Spanish, Turkish, and Aramaic. Fun fact about me: English is not my first language. Some of my friends like are always shocked when like I pull up my phone and like start talking to my mom in a different language. So my first language is Aramaic. One of the like things I've gained from language learning and being able to speak other languages is like, honestly, it's like kind of weird to say, but like problem solving and like thinking about like the essence of like languages, and not necessarily like words like, oh, how do you say this word in X language, but more about like how do you construct a sentence or how do you form an idea, because every language has like different like patterns for like expressing thoughts or like forming ideas.
Yeah.
Like whereas maybe like English is like whatever, like subject verb, like blah blah blah. Like other languages have like different like patterns and like different paradigms for expressing yourself. So I think that's like a really cool thing that I've learned.
So how does it help you like in actually like how you lead others or how you think about the world?
I don't know if learning languages helped me with that, but um, I've spent a lot of time in like traveling, especially in like Central and South America, which is like how I really learned Spanish. So
Nice, yeah.
that's like kind of like opened my horizons, like ways of living other than like the American way of living, that kind of thing.
So now you mentioned to me that you want to kind of promote mental health in young men because it's something important to you and your family. Would you mind talking through why you decided to speak up on this and why it's important to talk about?
Yeah, so this is definitely something I care a lot about, and what I talked about this a lot in my Beast Games application and interviews.
Mm-hmm.
My brother struggles from eating disorders, and in 2021, 2022, around that time, uh, his anorexia got like particularly bad. He was like a 5'9" male that weighed like 90 pounds. Like
Oh wow,
it was like deathly. Uh,
yeah.
like multiple doctors told my mom like he's not gonna make it when we finally got him help. And just seeing like someone you love, someone of your family, just like every day, like just slowly killing themselves and like not being able to do anything about it was like literally like broke me down and broke down like every member of my family. It was very hard to see my parents go through that as well. You know, my parents are like immigrants. They don't know how to like navigate the American healthcare system, and it's like it's impossible to get someone help, whether it be for mental health issues, for alcohol or addiction or drug related addiction. It's literally impossible to get anyone like help that doesn't seek it. So it was just such a like tricky situation to navigate that like my parents didn't really understand or know like the best resources to reach out to. So that was like one of the probably that was the primary thing I wanted to promote on Beast Games if I had made it far, and what I would have dedicated a large amount of money to if I won the 5 million is helping mental health in some form, especially eating disorders, um, and yeah, promoting mental health in young men. Because if you don't have like your mental health, then like honestly, I don't think you have anything at that point. It's like that's like step one, I think, in living a good life.
Because if you don't have your mental health, it's sometimes hard to even push to get your physical health in shape or
Sure.
social help. And yeah, it's a very important first step.
Sure.
What's one conversation or moment with your brother that shifted your perspective on life and how you view success?
Yeah, like I said in the last question, like that was like a very hard period of my life, and that those events like completely changed my outlook on like life and like what I think is important. So like I said previously, like multiple doctors told my mom like he's not going to make it, and there was at like the peak of his illness, like he had caught pneumonia and he was like 90 pounds and like was really in a rough spot, and like we didn't think he was making it. And I remember just like going outside to our backyard and breaking down crying. And yeah, my like those events and seeing him recover and bounce back like have completely changed my life outlook, definitely for the better. And some of like my biggest takeaways like are kind of cliche and like you hear them all the time, but like they really are true, and maybe they're obvious, but I'm going to repeat them. Like a healthy man wants 1,000 things, but a sick man only wants one. So like if you don't have your health and your mental health, like that is all you think about. And so it just makes me very grateful and blessed, like to just wake up every morning, like being able to walk or being able to conduct my life.
Appreciate
like,
the things you do have.
Yeah. Because like one day, like, I mean, knock on wood that doesn't happen soon, but like one day it's going to happen to all of us. It's made me also just like try to get after life as much as possible. Live life to the fullest, because like you don't know when it'll all get taken from you. And also just like appreciate my loved ones. Like you don't know when someone you love is not going to be around. So make sure they know how you feel about them.
So now you mentioned to me that the culture that you're a part of is a near extinct minority. So can you talk about how being a part of that, your heritage, has affected how you view legacy and perspective in life?
Sure. So this was another thing I wanted to promote on Beast Games is like I said earlier, my first language that I grew up speaking at home was Aramaic, which, fun fact, is also the language that Jesus spoke. So it's a very ancient language.
Yeah.
My ethnicity, you can look it up on Wikipedia later. It's called, we're called Arameans. We're from a region of Turkey called Turabdin in the southeast of Turkey. There's like very few of us, probably like under 1 million worldwide. I would have loved to have gotten a clip of me like speaking it onto the show or something like that. Yeah, I'm proud to be part of like my culture and be a part of that identity. There's not many of us, but like we like tend to stay close together. Like for instance, I grew up in a small town in Southern California where there's like a few families that are all from like the same village my parents are from. So like we always get together on like holidays like Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's, Easter, that kind of thing, and we like all get together and like make our food and speak like keep the camaraderie, keep the culture. Yeah, I'm very grateful for having grown up like in America with a like distinct cultural background because it like kind of gives me like two flavors, right? Like I can like have my American friends at school, and then I can have like my cousins or uncles, aunts, and grandparents, stuff like that have like a different, like a completely different like outlook and like came from like a different background, right? Like they grew up in like a rural village in Turkey, and so like see the world in like a completely different way than like whatever like my friend in Southern California.
So I know it's not the same as Beast Games, but would you want to say something to your Aramean friends, family out there for Behind the Beasts?
Kulmede de hayseri b'hayevi o kulmede de kitli ono hiç lo simli amruhi بس ما لخلي بدربو دا لوهو د فتح لجاني و وإنسان د عيش بهاي مكيخة و د محوي حوبو لكل نوشو بحياته دا لوهو فتح ل دربو لو إنسان أوستي. I can speak 4 languages, so I brought Brandon to get some street tacos to prove that I can speak Spanish to him.
Let's do it.
¿Podrías darnos 2 burritos de al pastor? Sí. Sin queso. No, uno con queso, uno sin. Sí. Con todo. Sí. Switches to English on me.
So now you mentioned to me that in your interview process, you were at one point being considered for both strong and smart. Which of these do you think fits you more naturally, and are you happy with the decision that was made?
Yes, so I told the casting people in the interview like I can do both. Like, I'm down for both, but I would prefer to be on the smart team. But immediately after that interview, I got a strength assessment, and then they sent me my documents after the strength assessment. So I was kind of under the depression. They put me on the strong team.
Sure.
And then like basically like the week before, they sent out those like emails letting us know we were accepted. I got a call from someone in the casting team and was like, "Hey, can you like send us like any kind of documentation related to being smart?" So I just sent in like my diploma.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got put on the smart team.
Nice.
I am happy I was on the smart team, and the reason I chose in interviews to the reason I told him I wanted to be on smart is because to me like there's always someone like stronger, someone faster, like whatever, someone more athletic, but like smart is everyone can be smart in different ways, and there's like a lot more wiggle room with being smart, so I'd prefer to be on the smart team.
And even the first challenge, like memorization is just like a very small facet of being smart, but it doesn't mean that you're good at trivia. It doesn't mean that you're good at critical thinking. So
and after I saw the first challenge, I was like, all right, there's a lot more like wiggle room. There's a lot of like opportunity to like show off like street smarts or like a trick, which is like what I like love doing. Just like from software engineering and stuff like that, I love like breaking down problems and like finding loopholes or like how to like work around things. What are like other paths to take? So I was really happy with the choice to be on the smart team, and I wouldn't repeat that.
So now you ended up in an unforgettable moment where you were pleading for your spot in the game against Ian on the obstacle course. What was going through your head during that time? Is there anything that you would do to change what you did that night?
So I don't think the TV can ever capture the emotions leading up to that moment, the emotions in the moment, the emotions after the moment, the events that unfolded before, during, and after. That obstacle course and what happened like lived rent free in my head for like weeks. Honestly, like I
Yeah.
replayed it like 1,000 times, like what I could have done, what I should have done, like things I could have tried, mistakes I made. If I had to boil down my loss into like a learning or an essence, I made some bad decisions in critical moments, which I think is like a common theme with almost everyone.
100%.
Not everyone, but like a lot of, I saw that repeatedly in Beast games.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it'll occur after me too. I don't blame Ian. Like he did what he had to do. I wasn't like super tight with him, but the brief conversations I did have with him in the city, he seemed like someone who was tough and willing to do whatever it takes. So when we were on the obstacle course, I didn't like really try to reason with him, which is something I do regret a little bit. I wish I had tried to reason with him a little bit more because I did have time on the clock to kill. But yeah, there was just a lot of like decisions I did or like things I should have done in the moment that like I didn't think about, or like for instance, like why did I let Vance, like why didn't I press Vance to like go fight Ian? Like why did I just let him go through? That was like really dumb. Or like why did I not take my weapon? Stuff like that. Just like to give like where I was in my mental state, like my headspace at that point. I thought it was going to be an obstacle course, right? So I was like amping myself up to like compete as an athlete. Like I was ready to run, I was ready to jump, I was ready to go as fast as humanly possible. So I was amping myself up, hyping myself up in that moment. I guess what I neglected, which is a huge mistake, was I wasn't thinking strategically. I wasn't like thinking about how to like optimize, which is like what I was doing in the previous challenges, and I think what helped me out. So I think that resulted in a lapse of judgment and not like thinking through some of the decisions on like the order my team went in, or like not pressing Vance, or getting rid of my, or the things like I could have tried against Ian, or like reasoning with Ian, like points I could have brought up to Ian. Because I do think there's like things I could have said potentially that like maybe made him think. But yeah, I would say like my biggest mistake, it has nothing to do with like Ian or like what I did on the obstacle course. At the end of the day, I'm an average Joe up against like an American Ninja Warrior, right? Like, there's not many scenarios where I would have like out-muscled him, right?
Sure.
I think like my biggest mistake was maybe being too honest to like my like 4-2 friends, and then like that making me having to find a new team.
How so? Like, what do you talk about with your 4-2 teammates at one point?
Yeah, so like you know, like when you're in Beast City, like there's like crazy highs and lows of emotion, right?
Yeah.
Like literally the highest highs of like I just won this freaking Super Bowl when I won this challenge. So like waking up at like 5 p.m. groggy and like having to do your laundry and like find like food from like a Starbucks. It's like, dude, I want to get out of here. Like I'm gonna take the next freaking opportunity of money and get out of here.
Yeah.
You know, I woke up one morning at like 5 p.m. like groggy, wasn't in the best headspace, and Katie catches me and was like, "Mike, do you think you can win this?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do think I can win this. I think I'm like strong and smart, and I think I have like a unique skill set." And then she goes, "Would you take a bribe to eliminate a team if like we have like a captain type bribe?" And I was like, I told her this point blank. I was like, "I'm gonna tell you an honest answer because I consider you a friend, and a lot of people here are gonna BS you and just tell you what you want to hear, and almost everyone here will take a sum of money."
Yeah.
Right? Like there's a sum of money here basically everyone will take. And I'm going to tell you what my sum of money is. I told her I would take 1.5 million to take out a team, which is I think is a very high number. And I think a lot of people will take a lot lower number. Yeah. But I mean, that was a mistake, right? Like I should have just said what people want to hear, which is like, you know, I'm ride or die. I'm never taking a bribe.
I think that
I'm here for the experience.
And that eventually led to your downfall.
I mean, that just like forces me like, you know, to like having to scramble, find a new team. And then you know, actually, the team being on the team I was on wasn't necessarily even a bad thing because we put together a really strong team, and like people didn't want to go up against us. And the proof is there. Like no one would pick us, and then like there was people on other teams who told me like we don't want to go up against your team because you guys have a good team, because we had like Vance, and then like also we didn't really have any like obvious like weak holes because me and Ethan were on the more athletic side, and then like you know we didn't really have any like holes, whereas a lot of teams had like a gap, like an obvious like gap to take advantage of. Going into the team picking, I actually told my team like I'm down for Ian's team. Like we thought they had gaps, so we ended up getting them. The TV will never capture like the emotions, the roller coaster emotions in BC leading into it, decision making on the actual course itself. Where like you know I'm up there, all the cameras are on me, like I have to get through Ian somehow. So I just got on my knees, said a prayer for luck, waited for Ian to like turn his head, just to give myself an opportunity, and then just lunged and went for it. Yeah. I also apparently got disqualified. You know that, right? I got disqualified. Yeah. I never got to see the clip where I actually like the reason I got disqualified because I got into a shouting match with Klitz
Sure,
when I was like leaving. Like telling him to like that was like BS, like have the lawyers review that. But apparently, like I went for like a chokehold on him, so I'm looking forward to seeing that footage.
Because the rule was that you couldn't make any contact physically, so the only contact you could make was with the sticks. And they actually had to show us the footage afterwards.
Yeah.
But I think you did put up a fair fight. You did the best you could.
For like a week at a Beast Games, I was like, it hurt to like walk, like go upstairs, do any kind of like physical activity. Like I couldn't go to the gym, and like for me, like working out, surfing, yoga, these are like ways to like relieve stress and like, you know, get my mental health right. So like not being able to do the things that like I used to like
especially after a stressful moment.
Yes, and after coming out of Beast Games, it was like, all right, like I'm emotionally drained.
Yeah.
I'm like physically drained, and I can't do the things like to get my emotion like back into things. So like for like a few weeks, I was like just replaying that in my head, like man, like I messed up. I was like so close to like making it to the next step, like going into the top 25, like, you know, making it into like the important piece where like they show everyone's personalities. So it would really like live rent free in my head for a while, like just like going really hard on myself for like how close I was, and like not being able to like succeed and go after what I came in for. I think like a lot of people on that show like hold themselves to a high standard and are high achievers. So I think that like that affects all of us, like when we just like can't, I don't know, when like something out of our control doesn't go our way. But I mean, Ian gave me my gym motivation, all the gym motivation I need for like the foreseeable future. So I will be putting in work in the gym, continuing to get stronger. So the next time I have to face up against Ian, anyone like Ian, or any obstacle course, I'm gonna win, playa. What up, players? We're in Venice Beach, California. I'm taking Brandon surfing, and then we'll walk around Venice, check out the beach, and see Muscle Beach. So the wax is for grip. Come compare what happens when you feel the wax part versus the unwaxed part.
Oh, so this is like very sticky. Yeah, I can see it. Oh, and you're going to slide off.
If it's not waxed, your feet are just going to slip off when you're trying to surf.
All right, so how much do you usually, like, how often do you, like, reapply it? Every single time you surf?
Like, you're supposed to put on, like, a top layer every time you surf, and then, like, after a few weeks or months, the bottom layer, like, it's washed away from, like, the water in my, like, wetsuit, so you have to, like, reapply, like, a thicker layer at the bottom. Base coat.
Hey, okay. Oh no.
Now we're here in Muscle Beach. Shout out to contestant Mark, who I've seen out here a few times doing calisthenics. We're gonna do a quick set of pull-ups so that next time I have to go up against somebody on the strong team, I'm more ready. You want to buy a shirt, Brandon?
Sure. What are you thinking of?
I think you look pretty cute in this.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, Mike. Show off. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Team strong and team smart.
During the day, this is like the single best people watching can get like the United States of America. There's like...
What are the weirdest things you've seen?
I mean, there's like street performers, like people playing basketball, people lifting weights, calisthenics, skaters, surfers. Like you literally see like
a little bit of everything.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. Now we're at a park I like to come to during the day when I wanted to clear my head after work. It's got a good vibe. Usually there's more people out when it's daytime. You can see the ocean, get some nice wind.
All right, to finish things off, we're going to do some rapid fire questions. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. What's your tip for someone entering into software engineering and tech?
All right, there's a lot smarter people than me that will give the hard advice and technical advice. So I'll just say don't ignore the soft skills and learn how to sell yourself.
Perfect. What is a tech innovation that you think will quietly change everything?
All right, so I feel like the obvious answer is AI, so I'm going to give a different answer. I'll go with quantum computing.
Ooh, okay, what's that?
It's like probably 10, 20 years down the line, but when that is invented, then a lot of how the internet functions at its like core will have to change, or like the security of everything will break. And it's just like basically like really fast computing.
Oh,
really fast computers.
Cool. If you could instantly learn a fifth language, which one would it be and why?
I would say Italian because when they talk, it sounds like they're like have like a rhythm and like a song almost. I think it's really beautiful. I think it's really beautiful.
That's sweet. What's one way you recharge after a burnout?
Oh, for sure, working out, surfing, yoga, physical things, because I like activities where I can't think about anything else other than the activity.
Perfect. Yeah, fair enough. And then what's your favorite behind the scenes moment that probably won't make it into the final cut of Beast Games?
Man, every contestant has like an unlimited supply of answers for this.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the first few hours in Beast City when we got set free. Just the electricity, the pandemonium, people going around. I found an immunity idol. Like, Katie got me really bad. She came up to me with like a bag and she starts shaking it. It's like jingling and she goes, Mike, I found keys. And I was like, oh, there's a door over there. It's probably for that. And she's like, yeah, you think so? And she's like baiting me on. I was like, yeah, let's go. And so we go, and then she like opens the bag and it's just like screws, and she just laughs at me. I was like, oh, I'm such an idiot. But just like the newness of it, like the exploration, like everyone's like, I don't know. It was crazy energy.
I love that. Well, yeah, Mike, thank you again for joining us for this interview, and thanks for joining us for another episode of Behind the Beasts.
Let's go.
Thank you for watching another episode of Behind the Beasts. It genuinely means the world to me. Now, for those who do not know, we are also doing a fundraiser across the entirety of the series for Major Connections. It is a foundation created by Gloria, one of the other contestants on the show, and its purpose is to provide resources as well as a sense of community for those with disabilities, both kids and adults, in rural communities. Now, oftentimes in major cities, they have the funds to be able to provide these resources, but smaller cities do not, and that is what Major Connections aims to solve. If you want to learn more about Major Connections, check out the link in the description. If you have the financial means to do so, please donate to the cause. And if you don't at this moment, that's okay. Please share it with your friends and family. But for now, thank you for taking the time to watch Behind the Beasts, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.